My last club Toastmaster meeting today for the summer at my home club. I think Leadership Speak goes all year. But anyhow, I'm looking forward to a Toastmaster celebration. But today, I wanted to talk about going deep. What does going deep mean? Going deep really means not just that surface stuff. We can go surface and wide and look around and say, oh, isn't this lovely? Isn't that lovely? And call that gratitude. While we're not really feeling the gratitude, the feeling is the stuff that goes deep. The just looking around and chattering and meaning nothing with it and just filling our time, wasting our time as far as I'm concerned, if we're just going to stay on the surface and say, oh, 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 oh. As soon as we have gratitude and thought and thinking and feeling and emotion, where we go down deep. So let's look at this. What has happened over all these decades? I know you haven't got as many decades as I have, perhaps, but decade by decade by decade. And if you're younger, it's year by year by year. And if you're a baby and a child, it's day by day by day. We soak up that environment around us, the people around us, and whatever they're doing, we feed that in. And what's happening? What is happening is that we take this stuff in and we wrap it around our hearts, our spirit, our soul. And as we grow longer in this life, we kind of wrap it around because some things hurt. We want to not be hurting. So we put a protective layer. It's almost like we build our own cocoon of shield and armor, and we get it thicker and thicker and thicker until pretty soon we're bundled up like this and technically isolating ourselves, because we may be out in the world, but if we're worried about what everybody thinks, we're just hiding behind another layer. We're not getting to be ourselves. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. So we get this cocoon thicker and thicker and thicker, these armor on, stronger and stronger and stronger. And each one is stronger because the first ones were just kind of thin as we were learning. And then we realized what this world is like. We better put the good armor on. And so we get thicker. When we go deep, breaking through the first crust, that thickest one that we've built on the outside, that's the biggie. And then once we crack that, we can start to break free and stop isolating ourselves. And going deeper means looking at each one of those and like taking a scab off, that big outer scab. Ooh, yeah. But then we start with the thinner skin underneath, the more delicate. And so as we go down in, we'll find that we're going to go into the more delicate and more subtle coverings that we've put inside. We'll know the difference when we feel our emotions either moving us into the joy of life or moving us into the sadness and depression of isolation and blaming ourselves and all those saboteur voices that chatter away in our head. We'll sense that. We'll sense that. We'll know it if we just pay a little bit of attention to ourselves. And somewhere in there, once we choose to live and we decided that's not going to happen anymore, I'm aware of my choices. Once I'm aware of my mind, now I can choose where I'm going. That is what the positive intelligent work is that I'm coaching in at the time and going ever deeper into as well. It's all tied in with the communication that's my natural, you see. Our communication impact is tied to our emotions and our layers and the voices that are going on. So if we want to live full out, we need it all. What are you telling yourself? What are those voices? Who are you listening to? How are you acting around it? Lots of reflection for today. Choose today to get started, to go deep. And let's peel away, and heal and come free and have choices. It's Coach Sandra, Compassionate Queen of Straight Talk. You can do it. I've done it. Lots of people have done it, but there's the hard way and there's the harder way. The hard way is just do the work with me. The harder way is do it all by yourself and take longer, but that's okay too. However you decide, but you can start to go deep and you can start to heal. You can do it, and you know it. I can help. Have a wonderful day. Happy reflections.